our town hall meeting. My name is Trish Carter, and it is my absolute joy and privilege to serve Cedarfield as a chaplain. I'm thinking about the following days coming up: Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, New Year's. They're all just about to happen again. As the days grow shorter and the world outside becomes a place of quiet reflection, we pause to honor the season of holidays before us. We acknowledge the blend of emotions that this time can bring: joy and celebration, solitude and grief. May peace, connection, and gratitude be present in our hearts and our homes. And may we be mindful of one another and find strength in our shared humanity. May this season be one of kindness, understanding, and renewed hope for us all.
Good afternoon and welcome. Monday must be a good day. This room is almost full. Thank you for joining me today and changing your schedule so that we could be together for this town hall meeting. It's fall. Anybody feel that this morning when they got up? Tomorrow's going to be even colder. What happened to summer? I feel like it was just yesterday. But we are prepared. We are moving forward with Thanksgiving and the festivities of all that the season brings. You'll learn a little bit more about getting ready for the holidays, which will be happening before we know it. But as you all well know, we start off our meetings with good news, and Emily is here. So we have our runner for good news. Does anybody have any good news that they'd like to share? We have to do better than this. Anybody have any good news?
I have some good news, Amy.
Okay, what is it?
My husband, who's just the cutest man in Richmond, James won the Best Leading Actor Award from the Richmond Theater Critics Circle, the local Tony Awards, basically, in Richmond. So he won that award a couple of weeks ago. And he was just recently cast as, and I won't say it, but he was just recently cast in the Scottish play, if you follow, as the lead. So that'll be in March downtown. So I'm very excited, very proud.
Something to be proud of. Oh, we have some good news in the way back of the room.
Sylvia.
Miss Fine has some good news.
So since Emily mentioned that, at the same awards event, my granddaughter, Hannah Clinton, won the award for Best Newcomer for her part, and you saw her, many of you, in the Diary of Anne Frank.
We have good news in the back from Bailey.
I'll stop running and scaring all of you in my heels.
I think a lot of y'all already know my good news, but on November 1st, I got married. And Emily actually was the officiant for my wedding because my husband is her best friend.
Congratulations. Who else? We need something from this side of the room. No pressure.
I'm available for any marriages around here, okay?
Good news on this side of the room? Any good news? How about the middle section? Any good news? I'm trying really hard. Any good news? Middle section. How about the far right of the room? Any good news? Yes, Barbara Fiske. I knew if I tried hard enough.
As a proud grandmother, I am happy to announce that my twins, who are now 18 years old and attending Trinity, Frances was awarded an academic scholarship to Randolph-Macon and will play basketball. Her twin brother was awarded an athletic scholarship to George Mason and will play baseball.
Wonderful. I'm feeling old now because I remember their original trick-or-treating with us many, many years ago. They're going to college. That's pretty amazing. Keep us posted. In preparing for this meeting this morning, I got an email from my husband who knew I was preparing, and it says, "Life lessons from a 70-year-old. Don't wait to be happy. The perfect moment will never come. Make the most of the one you're in. Health is everything. You'll only realize it when yours starts to fade, so cherish and protect your health now. Time doesn't come back. Spend it with the people who make your soul feel light. Call your parents." I'm trying to think about how many 70-year-olds have parents around. I'm hoping that some of us do. One day, you'll reach for the phone and wish you could. Say, "I love you" more. Don't let ego hold back what your heart wants to say. Memories are greater than money. No one remembers the car you drove, just the laughter you shared. Let go of grudges. Do not punish them. You're only hurting yourself. Stop waiting. Start that dream. Take that trip. Hug that person. Life doesn't pause. Don't forget words, but they never forget how you made them feel. People forget words, but they don't forget the way you made them feel. You're never too old to love again, to start over again, to change, and to grow. So those are life lessons from a 70-year-old. I think next month we probably could come up with our own from 80-year-olds, and they might be better, actually. All right, we have our first spotlight of the day, and that will be from Nancy Springman.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nancy Springman, and my husband, Paul, and I have the pleasure of serving as co-chairs this year for the team member holiday gift drive. We've been residents of Cedarfield for just over 3 years, and I can't tell you how much both of us love living here. Emily from marketing knows that because we're constantly helping her talk to potential new residents, and she always tells us that we're so enthusiastic and are good representatives of Cedarfield, and that's only because we like living here so much. At the October Town Hall and Residence Council meetings, as well as 2 Informer articles, we've addressed how to give, where and when to give, and provided suggestions on how much to give to the team member holiday gift drive. Today, I would like to discuss why we all should support the drive and why we should give generously. Giving is a very personal act and a very personal decision. I'd like to share why my husband and I give, and more specifically, why we give to this particular initiative. We have several criteria that we use when deciding what programs we are going to support at Cedarfield and within the greater community. First, Paul and I like to give to organizations and people we know and people we trust. Second, we like to keep our money local. And lastly, we like our money to make a difference. When we think about the Team Member Holiday Gift Fund, it really does tick all of those boxes. As I mentioned, Paul and I love living here. The 2 things that make Cedarfield the most special for us are the residents and the staff. I don't need to remind you how special you all are. Our team members are very special too. Even if you've lived at Cedarfield for only a few months, I bet most of you have a story about how a team member went the extra mile to make you happy, keep you healthy, or just make your day by day at Cedarfield more enjoyable. My husband spent the majority of his career working at a local Fortune 500 company, and I've spent my entire career in the healthcare field. We often talk about the dedication we see every day here at Cedarfield compared to what we experienced in our careers. The team members here consistently exceed dedication and service barometers on virtually every scale, and they do it consistently every day. Finally, I'd like to remind everyone that the team member holiday gift drive is the one and only time each year that we can tangibly express our thanks to so many people that make our lives what they are today. Yes, our thank yous to staff are very important and much appreciated, but please join us in giving to the fund. We can guarantee you your contribution will make a difference to someone who makes a difference to you every day of your lives. In closing, I'd like to thank Amy for this opportunity today, and in the interest of time, I'll be available to you to answer any questions that you might have after the meeting. Thanks again to all of you, and I know we can count on all of you to give generously. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Springman. Emily.
Hello, hello. I have more good news. I am absolutely thrilled to share with you all that after years of a lot of really hard work and dedicated relationship building in the marketing department, that our occupancy currently is at 99%. I know. It's incredible. So we have had a couple of moves since last week when we were sitting at a 99.4% occupancy with one cottage that was available, and now we've had a few more vacancies, so we're down to 99.1. That's okay, we'll get there. So just for your information, we have 6 folks who are going to be transitioning to Cedarfield within the next 2 months, 3 in November and 3 in December. We then have 11 apartments and cottages that are currently reserved, and we have folks who are going through let me clarify, 99% reserved and occupied. Let me be clear on that. So 11 folks who are currently in the reservation process, so they have reserved and are going through the applications right now. And then we have 4 vacancies as of today, which is 1 cottage, 2 2-bedroom apartments that we're working through the wait list on, and 1 1-bedroom. So that is that. And then I did want to share as well, last week we had a really wonderful marketing event. We had 5 residents who so graciously gave their time and their perspective on life here at Cedarfield. So they joined us on a panel and answered questions about living here, preparing for living here, that were not only delivered by myself, but also there was a room full of about 50-some prospective residents who are all on our wait list who were coming with those questions as well. So it was a really successful event, and I just wanted to remind you all how much I sincerely appreciate, my whole team, that we sincerely appreciate your involvement in these marketing events. I think one of the things that the feedback we've heard is how much people appreciate the transparency of the marketing office here at Cedarfield, the ability for folks on our wait list to connect with you all individually and hear your stories, how you came to decide to live here at Cedarfield and how you continue to feel about that decision. And so I just wanted to say thank you again to the 5 panelists and to all of you who will, hopefully help us in the future as well. It really is so invaluable to have your support. So thank you so much for that. And that's it. Thank you.
Next, we'll have a report from Jackie France, our Director of Nursing.
Good afternoon. VACRA, also known as the Virginia Continuing Care Residents Association, has requested myself and Emily Hicks, one of our social workers here at Cedarfield, to work, to come and share some insights on what one could expect when coming to healthcare for a short stay. This presentation will take place on November 21st from 10 to 11 a.m. here in the Fellowship Hall. Also, when coming to healthcare, please keep in mind there are some required documents that need to be completed if you have a private sitter or companion. Since healthcare is a regulated area, this required paperwork is completed prior to your short stay in healthcare. If you need a copy of those documents or forms over here to my left, which may be your right, after this meeting, I'll have some extra copies if you feel like that you may need one. Okay, thank you.
Lauren will now join us with an introduction.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Lauren Burnett, your Assisted Living Administrator, and wanted to start off today with introducing you to Health Services' newest team member, Ann Dalton Sisk. She is healthcare's social worker, and if you are looking for where her office is located, she is inside Poppy Place household, and it truly is where Poppy Place meets Garden Grove at those double doors. If you're familiar with that area, you are more than welcome to stop by and say hello if you are looking for her. But, please join us in the Health Services team with welcoming her to Cedarfield. Thank you so much. And then while I'm up here, yes, Ann Dalton Sisk is the last name, S-I-S-K. You are welcome. And also wanted to mention while I am up here, Poppy Place being our skilled care Medicare A reimbursed household of Cedarfield, we certainly have plenty of availability for anyone who needs it here at Cedarfield. Also, we work with our other sister Pinnacle Living communities for anyone in need for those skilled services. But also keep in mind that is the one household where we are able to accept people from the outside community for rehab as well. So if you do have friends or family that are looking for perhaps a skilled nursing facility stay in the future, keep us in mind. We would be more than happy to help accommodate them as well. And you're welcome to reach out to me if you do know of someone or if that situation does arise in the future. We're happy to help. And again, that's the Poppy Place Medicare A benefits household. Okay, thank you so much.
Is James Hicks in the room, a man who does not need an introduction? Come on down.
That's right. Good afternoon. That's terrible. It got to be louder than that. Hello. That's not how I pictured that in my head, but we'll work on it. I'm not a Grinch. I'm always happy, but sometimes you have to get into the nitty-gritty about things, right, to make sure that we don't catch on fire or get hurt or anything like that. So I've been asked to speak about a few things today. I'm James Hicks. I'm in charge of maintenance. Yep, that's right. So the holiday season has a lot of cool things coming, right? We have trees and candles and extension cords and lights and all kinds of fun stuff. So let me read what the resident handbook says about decor when we talk about placing things in the hallway and around our front doors. Artificial Christmas trees should never block exits, and the residents should check all the tree lights before, ensuring that they work correctly. If one goes out, they all go out, remember? Turn off any decorations before bedtime, please. And any time that there's no one in the apartment, just make sure everything's shut down. Fresh decorations and trees can significantly harm individual apartments and buildings. Only fresh decorations in a growing source with soil and roots are permitted. Keep decorations away from heat sources. Do not run extension cords under the carpet. And only flameless candles are allowed. Period. All right. A couple more bah humbugs that I'd put together here for you. Be tasteful. Keep the things that you really like to elaborate on at your front door in that little vestibule. You can do whatever you want, as long as it's safe in that vestibule, but don't let it sneak out into the common corridors. It can hinder egress. Potentially, if there's any kind of emergency, you want to make sure we can all get out in a safe manner. Don't block the exit signs or the pull stations or fire extinguishers. Make sure you're safe, and the extension cord should not be any kind of trip hazard. So I know we're all going to have things that are plugged in. Make sure they're away from guests and team members so we don't trip and knock our heads in anything. No live greenery, garland, wreaths, etc., please. No real candles. You can use the ones that have the batteries, as earlier stated. Potted plants are okay, but keep them in your vestibule area. No cookies left out for Santa because they could draw ants, but if you want to drop some off in the maintenance department, we have plenty of Santa's helpers, and we would love to indulge. Another fun thing, Hector has been with us for about a month, and he now is on second shift. Woo! So he's here from 2 o'clock to 10 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, not weekends. But we do have, and I think this question came up a while back, do you have team members here on the weekends? Yes, we do, Saturday at 8 o'clock through 4:30, and Sunday, 8 o'clock through 4:30. Keep in mind there's only one person here. So if there are things that come up that you think are priorities, there may be something else out there that is a priority, but you know how to get in touch with that individual, go to concierge or call the on-call phone. We will try to get to you as urgently as we can. The SARA overview of kind of the SARA system. Who in here in this room uses the pendants that may go around your wrist or your neck? No? Okay, a handful, sprinkling. So we have 6,000 different SARA devices in the building. So you may have one, that's 5,999 other ones, and there's another one. So there's just a lot of devices out there. And all those devices check in with the system every 3 to 4 seconds. So we can rest assured they're working, and that the batteries are powered up, and that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not lost, stolen, non-functioning, or whatever. The reports that come out daily are managed by a team of probably 3 or 4 people. It passes through our hands to make sure that everything is appropriately working. If you receive a call from Bailey, do us a favor, call her back. We're either on the list of, hey, we can't find that device because the battery's been dead for a while, or perhaps the battery is getting to the point where it needs to be changed, and we're going to do it for free. You just have to either return a call to Bailey or come on down to our offices and we'll do that for you. If the battery is dying or it's dead, we can't find you and it will no longer work. So if you've fallen and you can't get up, you're going to push that thing and no one's coming. So please be sure. If you have a question about is it working or not, come on down and see us and we'll look at the report to ensure that it is working properly. The lights in the cottages. This came up a little while back. We know that the time's changing and looks like it's getting darker sometimes a little earlier. And I am so happy when people tell me they're out walking and they can't see, because that means you all are out there and you're exercising and you're moving, and I love that. There have been some instances where we had some pole lights that weren't operating properly, and Mason and some contractors came in, and we've been able to ascertain where those broken electrical connections were in the ground, and we've since had those repaired. If there are onesie-twosie light bulbs that are out, make sure my office is aware of it, and we'll get to it, and we'll replace those. The other question was, we have these beautiful lanes and courts with all these cottages, but it's kind of dark. Once you get away from those big pole lights that are on the parkway, sometimes it's a bit dark. It's quaint. Sometimes it's pretty. We'd love for you to run those pole lights that are out in front of your cottage. And it was explained to me that probably 85, if not 95% of those pole lights that are out in the front yard are on a switch that have a photocell. Those photocells are only going to come on. It's going to allow that light to come on. As long as that switch inside's turned on, that light's going to burn. And it's going to give that little bit of ambient light that people like to see when they're doing their after-dinner walks, perhaps with a puppy or with their spouse. So I'd encourage you, if you have any questions about that, let me know, because the cottages are a beautiful place, but sometimes it does look a little dark down there. So if we have a problem with your photocell or the light out front, let me be aware of it so that we can get those corrected. think that's all that I had. But, what? Okay, the permission to enter things in a minute. So, I had this really elaborate, what I thought was super duper map that I had out, and I had it running for months through the summer just to see if I got any kickback on it, and no one really complained until I started reading it and said, ooh, this is really difficult to understand. So we employed about 3 or 4 residents to go through the stuff that I had so talently created that I thought was amazing, and they pointed out it was not amazing. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and create something that's easier to understand, that clearly shows what priority 1, priority 2 is. With the map, it sometimes is a lot of data when you're looking at it on that slide. Maybe it's flipping in and out and you can't see it. So I'm going to make sure that that map, once it's outlined and clarified, we'll put that in the resident handbook so that it's there as a reference so you all can see it. At the same time, the slide is just going to indicate kind of where our entrances and exits will be used, facilitated to be cleaned for egress and for entering. And I think want to clarify, like priority 1s, priority 1 is, hey, we know these are evacuation routes or escape routes, or perhaps they're exits to the sidewalks. Maybe it would be one of those that you want to take your puppy out on because that's pretty important too, and they have to go to the bathroom. But priority 1 is going to be, we're going to try to keep those areas clear and clean during an event. We're going to try our best to keep those as clear as we can during the event. When you see priority 2, that indicates that that's kind of after the event is finished and the snow is stopped or the ice is kind of stopped doing what it's going to do. Then we're going to get out there and we're going to do our best to clear those secondary or priority 2 areas. Now that may sound like I'm not getting into the idiosyncrasies of the plan, but more to come on that. I think it's going to be pretty clear. I know there were some flurries up in the Blacksburg area, and my daughter even said at JMU that it was flurrying this morning. So we don't expect any accumulations today or tomorrow, but we'll definitely keep our eyes open for that. All right. We'll do a little red dot dance and song here, just a moment. You ready? No walk-up music for you?
Hello, everybody. So I actually made a slideshow to go over red dots. It's a red dot and basically what maintenance going hand in hand together. Use the Pinnacle Living slideshow, so it's pretty jazzy. I like it a lot. So this is just going to go over a couple things. We can go to the next slide. Can I change it with this? Oh, you're doing the lights. You're great. Thank you. All right. So what this is going to cover is what a work order looks like and what helps us move to you faster. What a work order looks like, and this is move faster. We take all your calls seriously and want to handle them in a timely manner, and we're going to discuss what makes that happen and how we can, we can't waste time getting to y'all and taking care of y'all. What does a red dot mean? I know you've seen them around or have them on your door, but we're going to dive deeper into what they allow us to do and how they work on our end. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that. I am unfortunately too much like James and do talk very fast. And then the third part is going to be key release and permission to enter. There's a difference between the two. These are very different things, and we want to make sure you have all the information you need to make the best choice for you. Because at the end of the day, this is your home, and we want to make sure that we're respecting that, but we're also taking care of you. So on the back end, this is what a work order looks like for us. On the screen, I've included that, and as you can see, there's a lot more detail than what it looks like on your end, which is why details are so important to include. With more details, we can get an idea of what you're looking out for and what we can do to get headed your way faster. What if our team needs tools they don't normally carry? What if they might need a second set of hands? These are questions we try and answer before heading out so we can move quickly and efficiently. Even something as simple as the light over my sink in my guest bathroom is flickering a lot when I turn it on. This tells me what the issue is, that the issue is electrical and it's infrequent, which means I may need to direct it to Mason, as y'all have met, our master electrician, rather than giving it to Ford or Robert. Now I don't have to send Ford or Robert, only for them to arrive at your home, realize it's out of their depth, and then need to reach back to get a hold of Mason. Therefore, it solves your issue faster, and we don't have to send multiple people to your apartment. So I've included what it looks like on your end and what it looks like on our end. So obviously they're quite a bit different. And And while you might not have the same offerings as us, the details you provide can then be added to me, and I can add them into the ticket before sending it off to the team. Like I said, even something as simple as what room it is, or if the light's flickering, or if it's kind of pulsing, these details really do matter. This also includes when you call. Even the times I'm unavailable to pick up the phone, you're more than welcome to leave a voicemail with all your available details. Even if you feel like you're leaving me a 10-minute long voicemail, every little bit helps, because we do want to move to you faster and effectively. My voicemail is actually also attached to software that types out most of what you say, and I can listen to it as I read it, so I won't miss anything if you leave me a voicemail. And it allows me to put the ticket in as fast as possible. Red dots. Sorry, y'all. All right. We never want to discourage someone from utilizing the red dot, but we do want to create a sense of transparency with them and its expectations, especially when it comes to time. Red dots tell our team to stop and that they need to make contact with you before doing anything else. How we go about that is by first knocking on the door clearly, waiting a few beats, knocking again, and waiting again to see if there's a response. If there's no response, we will leave a yellow tag on your door saying we tried to come by, and we'll encourage you to call my office at 8806 to make an appointment for them to come back and work on your issue. Again, my office's number is 8806. If it's an after-hours emergency, you're need to call 8800. But yeah, a red dot on your door is an indicator that we can't go in unless it is one of the reasons that's on page 24 of your handbook, which I've printed out about 30 copies of that page, and they're on the back table. So when you head out today, you can take that, or you can look at your handbook whenever you need to. Okay. All right. And those are actually the emergencies as well. No power, no hot water, no air conditioning or heat, inoperative door locks, water pipe leaks, a dripping faucet is not an emergency, no water, broken windows or door glass, and an inoperative sink or toilet if there's only one in your home, or a medical emergency. Other than that, if you have a red dot, we will respect that and should not enter. Red dots continued. We aim to address every call within 72 hours, but a red dot can mean they can take longer, and therefore sometimes it's better for red dots to give us a time when you're available so we can put a work order in. If you're a resident with a red dot and you're making a work order that is not an emergency, please consider us giving us that available time over the phone or when you're on WorksHub. Our team stays busy during their days, and unfortunately we don't have the bandwidth to immediately come when called unless it's an emergency. With that in mind, if you don't give us an available time, it could take longer for us to try and figure out when you are home. And obviously, we want to take care of y'all. We're not just wandering the halls being like, well, we'll find them. We want to help y'all out. And then this is key release versus a permission to enter. This is an example of a key release form that you should get from housekeeping. There's an option for you only to have your home cleaned while you're there, or sorry y'all. There's an option to only have your home cleaned when you're there, or even when you're not home. This would allow them to make a copy of your key, so if you're not home, but it'll be trusted to that housekeeper. Housekeeping also allows you to request a regular housekeeper, being the only person that is allowed into your home with that key. If your person cannot make it, they will call you and alert you, so you can make that choice to have someone else come in, or you can skip that cleaning altogether. Again, making it a priority that when you want somebody in your home, you can have somebody, or if you don't, you don't. And this is what a permission to enter looks like on our screen again. So on the top, you can see this person is a do not enter or a red dot, and what date they have asked us to apply their sticker. This is very helpful, ensuring that we do not mistakenly enter or do not enter when we are not supposed to, but also this lets me know for transparency's sake, they recently asked us to do this because we have had some concerns of people not sure of when they started their red dot service. The second picture is the permission to enter. As you can see, it's a check mark that will appear on the ticket and every ticket that opens for this person. So this department, every time they call us and ask, hey, can you come help? Every single time they're letting us in. The third picture is the old style of do not enter, where the check is just left blank and the maintenance team must rely on seeing the red dot only. We're gonna be moving away from this format But this also shows if you have a special request, such as having a pet or being hard of hearing or needing us to knock louder, we can put that in there to ensure you don't miss anything. But yeah, we're going to be moving forward with making sure the date is attached to ensure that everyone's on the same page, inside or out. Okay. And the extra section, which means we're almost done, is different colored dots. We will not be using any other colored dots. If your permission to enter a sticker on your profile, we'll state that, and we don't need another sticker. It just causes more confusion. If you'd like how to join the red dot list, if you'd like to join the red dot list, we have a form in the back you can sign and acknowledge this. This will allow us to enter that information onto your profile and get the red dot on your door in a timely manner. If you are giving us, the last one, how to leave the red dot list. If you're giving us permission to enter, you may email me, call me, submit a work order, even visit my office, but you must communicate that. We keep a list of every person in the office and on your profiles on WorksHub to reflect your status. So just taking the dot off your door doesn't tell us because the computer's still gonna say we can't enter. And that is all. Thank y'all for your patience. Obviously, this is my first time presenting, but y'all have been great.
Great job.
So Bailey will be around after the meeting to answer any questions that you might have. Just to reiterate a few key points, a red dot on your door frame is something that you have to get enrolled in. You can't go to the store and get a red sticker and put that on your door. What we want to make sure that everybody understands is that in case of an emergency, whether you have a red dot on your door or not, we are going to go into your apartment. We're going to first try to reach you with a phone call or knock on the door. But if there's water coming from the apartment upstairs or there are flames coming out your window, we're coming in because we want to make sure you're safe and we want to make sure that your property is safe. If you elect to be in the red dot program, we will reach out to you several times, any way that we can, whether it's knocking on the door or phone calls, just to ensure that you know that we need to enter your apartment. For routine maintenance, let's say changing an air filter, we will reach out to you prior to scheduling that to ensure that you'll be home for the time that we have selected. If you're not, we will work to accommodate you at another time, but we want to make sure that you have that service done, so we'll work with you on an individual basis for that. We've also created a pretty clear policy for our team members so that there isn't any misinformation out there and they know what is expected of them. If there are any specific questions about this after the meeting, there'll be a small group of us that will hang around and answer those questions for you. Thank you so much, Bailey, for pulling together the information and presenting today. Next, we have David with some financial news.
Hello, everyone. We've gotten some emails and phone calls about the team member holiday gift. And the question is it tax deductible? And unfortunately, it's a gift, so it's not tax deductible. But on the other side of that, it's a gift, so it is not taxable to the team member. So there is no taxable event there. And I apologize, it's not one of our taxable or our funds, but again, on the other side of that, the employee is not taxed on it either. So today we're going to go through the first quarter financial results for Cedarfield. Our first quarter starts in June, so we have June, July, and August. We're going to go very high level. We're going to look at the statement of activities and then what we've spent on capital expenses for the first quarter. Okay, so actual operating revenue came in at $11.9 million on a budget of $11.8 million. So we came in favorable to budget on revenue by $149,000, 1% variance. Total operating expenses, actuals came in at $10.7 million on a budget of $10.7 million. So we came in just slightly above budget at $20,000 above budget, so 0%. So netting those two gives us change in net assets from operations. So actuals, $1.2 million on a budget of 1.1. So we came in favorable there by $129,000. down to non-operating changes. Actual of $853,000 on a budgeted spend of $1.1 million. So we came in favorably there, $247,000. So bottom line, net change in assets, actual came in at $413,000 on a budget of $36,000. So we came in favorable for the first quarter, $376,000. Okay. Dining almost made budget. 1% off. It's not much. All right, so this is capital project spend for the first quarter, first 3 months of the fiscal year. So we spent $1 million on the window replacement. You also hear us call it the EFIS. Residence renovations, $800,000. Furniture, fixtures, and equipment, $50,000. Vehicle, $6,000. Housekeeping equipment, $16,000. Building renovations, $12,000, and a small $2,000 on information technology. And again, that is what was spent. Some of these projects are much bigger, but that's what was spent in the first 3 months of this fiscal year. And that's everything. Thank you. It was a really good first quarter.
And David, too, will stick around in case there are any financial questions after the meeting. Next is Neil.
Of course, we would have been in budget if everybody wasn't having such a good time around here. Thank you. Hey, just a few updates in the hall over here, and there's going to be also a box in main dining next to the hostess station. We're doing a little survey about destination dining. You've seen the destinations so far. You've enjoyed the destinations, but what other destinations do you have? And so we have a little survey here that gives an example of, oh, wow, here's what I liked when I was in Spain. Well, here's a certain resident who wrote down, I'd like to see the Czech Republic, and they got some mushrooms, liver dumpling soup, breast of duck, strudel. I'm like, yeah. So please, take the time. The dining committee has been a lot of help, and they've put these surveys in your boxes, or they'll be available out front here in Town Hall or next to the hostess station. And I just wanted to note about events coming up. Thanksgiving, 330 reservations so far. Groups, we have some sizable groups, up to 20 that are coming in. And I want to remind everybody about reservations. We are going to take care of everybody. There's no question about it. If the parties are extremely large, we'll try to find a venue for that, but the priority is going to be about residents and their reservation needs. As far as other events, we have about 40 so far between now and New Year's Eve. So you're all going to enjoy yourselves. So I expect to see a lot more walkers because you are definitely going to have a good time. Hours, just like similar to last year, Thanksgiving will be open from 11:30 to 3. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day will be open. Brunch hours, it's not going to be brunch food, so 11:30 to 2:30. The Atrium Cafe will be open, of course, but the hours are going to be closing on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve at 5 p.m. Because, of course, New Year's Eve, we have a fantastic party as well. Just wanted to bring up in the past here, the big time you all had for Chef's Night Out. If you run into Henry, oh my gosh, he has a video of the winners, Dung Lu and UT shopping. They went to the Asian market, and Henry was saying, Dung Lu, you're spending all of Neil's money. But it was such a joy. Everybody got a prize and a medal, and the dining committee was excellent helping out with that. And the whole point of trying to do something different, a little bit different in dining, and having all our great team members participate is they get excited. And if they're excited, they're going to provide you with great service. So please, if you see any of the team members, and Dung Lu, she's will be out there in showcase and making pizzas and everything else. So please say hey and congratulate her too. Now, I don't know what happened with me during this event. You got win, play, show, and then came in dead or something. So last by many votes. I have it on this sheet, and it says me. So you know what? The next time I'm going to do what anybody else does, like with holiday movies and everything else. I'm going back to the beret. So it's going to be back to the beret, more brioche. So I'll be around after the meeting for any questions too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil. He reminded me of my good news. My daughter is doing Thanksgiving this year. The bad news is she's a vegan. All right, Stephanie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to talk to you about the Cedarfield Peak program. The Peak program acknowledges team members who take personal responsibility in delivering excellence to those they serve for residents, fellow team members, and family members. There's 3 ways to nominate team members. One way is the Mission Award, which is nominated by a manager, supervisor, or director, and is acknowledged once a month for enriching life's journey. Another way to recognize team members is we have 6 value awards, which can be nominated by residents or team members. Those 6 value awards include stewardship, culture, partnership, diversity, hospitality, and quality, and may be awarded each month. The Vision Award is nominated by residents and is submitted to the Resident Council, and this award is distributed once a year, which represents a culture in which age does not define the person. Resident Council will review the nominations and select a nominee. These nominations are due by February 1st of each year. And then there's also a peak wall that's located in Team Dining, who displays who's received an award. Nomination forms can be found in Human Resources, Team Dining, Resident In-House Mailroom, and My Cedarfield app. The October nominee award winner was Dewana Ford for Culture. Ms. Ford recognized a resident was not feeling well and provided comfort and care for the resident. And this resident wished to remain anonymous, so that's about all I can give you. Any questions? I'll be here after the meeting.
Good afternoon. I'm Florence Brooks, Director of Resident Life and Wellness. We had such a fantastic response to our Feed More Food drive in October. We received word that Cedarfield contributed over 675 pounds of food, which will provide about 562 meals for children, families, seniors, and homebound neighbors. And the Feed More distribution area is anywhere from the northern neck all the way down to the North Carolina line. So folks in those areas will benefit from your remarkable generosity. This evening, we're honored to celebrate our veterans. At 7:30 p.m., the Henrico Concert Band will perform right here in the Fellowship Hall, and following Cedarfield's tradition, we'll distribute a special booklet which will recognize all of the veterans, both the residents and team members who are part of our community. We'll also have our annual tribute to each branch of service. To all who have served in this community, we thank you. Have you seen our 20-passenger bus lately? It just returned from getting a makeover. Let's see what it looks like. Here it comes. There you go. So maybe you've ridden on it. If not, that's the 20-passenger that was out front for a while. It was all white, but it's now been wrapped. That's the word that's used. It's a vinyl wrapping, which is basically a large vinyl decal that now brands our newest addition to the Cedarfield fleet. Thank you, Delonte. Be sure to mark your calendars for Friday, November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving, when we transform Cedarfield into a holiday happening place. We'll be welcoming back our friends from Cross Creek Nurseries to help us deck the hall. So you'll see some faces that you don't normally see on campus, in the courtyard, in dining, out front. Just know that they're here for about 3 days helping us get things ready. And I hope you'll join us for our annual Thanksgiving service on Monday, November 24th at 4 p.m. We'll gather as a community for reflection, prayers of thanksgiving, and beautiful music from the Cedarfield Choir. It's a wonderful way to celebrate the season together. Thank you, and a blessed Thanksgiving and season ahead to each of you.
Thank you, Florence. Some quick announcements to wrap us up before I turn it over to our president of the Resident Council. This weekend was the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Thank you to those residents who participated in that event. The Richmond chapter of the Alzheimer's Association set a goal of $1.1 million, and I found out this morning that they have reached that goal, which is wonderful. In addition to reaching the goal, I also learned that Richmond will be one of the top 10 fundraising cities who participated in the walk. So again, thank you for your enthusiasm in either participating or donating to the Alzheimer's Association. Next, something that I'm really excited about, and I know that you will be as well, is that we will have a permanent art collection coming to Cedarfield of local artists. We had a donation given anonymously to Cedarfield, and the artwork has arrived and has been framed, and you will start seeing it positioned throughout mostly the third floor of Cedarfield for everybody to enjoy over the next week or so. We also are planning a special event so that you can meet with some of those artists and ask questions and find out a little bit about them, and also let them know how special their pieces are. So look to an upcoming informer about that. Yes, ma'am. No, they're from the Richmond surrounding areas. A couple of more quick announcements. Functional Pathways, which is our therapy provider and partner, will be hosting an open house on Friday of this week. We have quite a few new therapists. I'm sure most of you have noticed that. This will give us the opportunity to meet with them and share a little bit about ourselves and Cedarfield. We hope that you'll make time to come and stop by the therapy office for that event. And lastly, the EFIS project continues to go ahead of schedule. You will see that this week they will start wrapping up construction, and they will take a short break until after the beginning of the new year. We suggested last year when they started the project that we get a little break during Thanksgiving and Christmas, because we know we'll have lots of guests in the building and we want to make sure there's lots of parking as well. So still quite a bit ahead of schedule, but they will take a hiatus over the next several weeks just to get us through the holidays. And I think that wraps me up. So I'm going to ask our president of the Resident Council, Ms. Heatwall, to come and share her notes with us.
It's a busy time of year with lots going on, and I know that your residents' council, you see them once a month, but trust me, there are probably 100 people working on your half behind the scenes with our committees, our committee chairs, and everything that's going on. James got a little lesson in what it's like to be an instructor, and you write something you think is wonderful, and you hand it to the students, and then you get the feedback. Your communications committee gave him the feedback on your snow plan, so Thank you to the members of the Communication Committee for being thorough in your comments to that. Nancy spoke to you about our team member gift. Don't forget our team member party. Helen Horowitz and Dr. Elvira Saghetti have been working for several months behind the scenes to make sure this is a very successful event for our team members. You will be getting a notice in your mailbox. Remember, we are not allowed to give tips or any kind of monetary gift to the team members. It could get them in trouble if they take it, except once a year we can have a party and we can show them how grateful we are for their service to us. So please be generous with your gift to the team members, and be generous with your food for the party. This is a party that we give for the team members. We are the hosts and hostesses. This year it is Thursday, December 4th from 2:30 to 4 p.m. here in the Fellowship Hall. One half of the residents each year are responsible for providing the food. This year it is the odd-numbered apartments and cottages. So if your address ends in a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, you will be providing food this year. Please be sure it is in bite-sized servings and ones that do not need to be heated. If you're unable to get out to purchase food or you are unable to make it, if you will forward money to Elvira Saghetti, she will do the shopping for you. Cash donations should be put in an envelope in her in-house mailbox, which is number 308, by noon on Tuesday, December the 22nd. So be sure to come that day. Give a big by noon on Tuesday, December the 2nd. Yes, thank you. I love it. Everybody catches my mistakes and corrects them, so thank you so much. Remember, we are the hosts and hostesses. Be sure to come that day and to be able to personally thank everyone for everything they do for you. Other things that are going on, Stephanie mentioned the Vision Award. We will be covering that in our November resident council meeting, and I do have the names of prior recipients of the award, so you have that when you're thinking about who you want to give it to this year. And also remember the calendar, the Cedarfield Garden Calendar, Christmas holiday calendar for 2026, which your gardening committee has put together and is available for purchase. Anything else going on? As I said, the Communication Committee has had input into the snow plan. Environmental and gardening are putting together a joint committee to do pond plans. Facilities is keeping track of all the ongoing projects. Finance Committee has met with the Cedarfield and Pinnacle Living people to go over the audit. The Flower Guild, of course, is putting beautiful flowers and plants around. Health services, library, religious life, safety, welcome, wellness, and leisure are all working behind the scenes to keep Cedarfield the best place in Richmond for retirees to live. So it's about that time of year for Helen to start putting her team together. So when you get a call asking you to serve, please answer in a positive way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us here today. I will remind you that this will be the last town hall meeting for the year. I know that we'll see each other between now and the new year, but I hope that if I don't by chance, that you all have a wonderful holiday season. Know that our directors are always here. It doesn't have to be a formal setting like this. Please stop by our offices, give us a call, and we'll also stick around after the meeting in case there are any particular questions about today's meeting. Thanks so much and have a great day.